Hey game fans, this is Christen. Welcome back to IGO. I recently had the chance to sit down with two of the members behind the game Remnants of Yore. This is a story about a magical cat exploring, collecting, and managing an antique shop. This game is going to be extremely cozy, cute, and mysterious. At the time of recording this, late pledges are still available on Kickstarter if you are interested in backing this. The team has also crafted an incredibly engaging and super fun Discord space, so make sure that you join them on there. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe so we can keep having chats with game developers from all around the world. We also now have a Discord server that has a lot of resources for game developers as well as game players, from playtesting and just news about what's going on in the world of games. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Christen from Indie Game Origin, and today I'm super excited to be here with two members of the team behind Remnants of Yore, which was recently successfully funded on Kickstarter. So if you were already following them, awesome. If you're not, you definitely should be. Thank you both so much for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves, your role with the team, and what people can expect from this work in progress title?
Hello, I'm Julia, one of the co-leads of Remnants of Yore. My main job, I dabble in a lot of things, as well as Nikita, because we're a small team. But I am a 2D artist, and I also do game design and some narrative stuff, so yeah.
I'm Nico/Nikita. It's a whole debacle. I am also one of the co-leads. I am the 3D environment artist, so I dabble in the whole 3D space, as well as making little assets in Blender and make things work and look nice and pretty in Unreal Engine. I try to dabble as much as I can, but that's like me as a title.
That's great. Yeah, I think both the blessing and the curse of a small team is being able to try different hats on, and sometimes you are really excited to delve into something new, and then other times you're like, ah, damn it, I have to do this thing.
Yep.
It happens, yeah.
How long have you all been working on Remnants? It seems like maybe on and off for a while.
Yeah,
It's an awkward.
I would say since almost a year now. Like seriously
Yeah.
working on it, because we had ideas and we, mix and matched a couple things, but seriously like working on the project, I would say almost a year. Yeah.
Yeah, it started with just me and Julia to begin with, by bouncing off ideas, making these like pitch presentations, like make sure we understand the game and that kind of thing. And
Yeah, the base
think
of it.
it really began when we probably got our first like interns people, and we got a team, and that's when I feel like it hit that we started developing now. It's like a whole thing. Yeah, but yeah, almost a year basically. Yeah.
It's great. It's funny how time goes so fast. It doesn't feel like that long when you blink your eyes and
Yeah, nah.
a decade.
It feels like the flow. It's like a constant flow. We get asked quite often. It's like your progress so far, and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, have you looked back or anything? I'm like, not really. I've just been. For me personally, I don't know Julia, but it's like I've been in a constant flow state that you just keep going. And you don't really think it's like, oh, we actually like came from this weird iteration. Now we've got like this fully fledged engine game. I don't really have a chance to like breathe between the gap.
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, but really, really fun. And yeah, it's been amazing, honestly.
It's really incredible because I love so many aspects of the game, and I'd just like to give a little bit of background for folks that might be listening that maybe haven't heard of your team or the game yet. Remnants of Yore features an antique bookshop and a very cute cat that I am super excited about. And I'm very curious how, what was the process that brought these elements of, but essentially a cozy game where you manage an antique store with a cute little kitty. How did this come to be?
Oh man. Yeah, this is a freaky question because we actually when we were introduced by John Paul, one of the people on Haraka Studios that we will talk later, to make a game, we were mixing and matching all kinds of ideas and also getting to know each other as well. So that was fun too. And we found out that we had pretty similar tastes in some video game aspects and aesthetic and that kind of thing, and we just pitched some of our ideas that we thought that our dream games that we would play, and we actually grabbed two of them and matched it together because we thought that it made sense, and it was kind of your the idea going bloop, if we mix these two together, it create something so awesome and some, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was something like that, right, Nikita? Because it was it was mixing ideas together, and it just came out of this makes so much sense, and it could be such an awesome game if we manage to develop this. So yeah. By the way, I want to say
Oh, got it.
because I always say this, I'm Spanish, so if my English is a little bit weird, just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's the main what happened. Yeah.
It's essentially just like a cauldron that just splish splash, and it's well, that works. Basically, it's
it was kind of like that. It was kind of connecting two ideas and saying, you know what? This is, and then after that, I remember talking with Nikita and coming with idea and after idea and it all came just, it just flowed out naturally. It was kind of crazy, actually.
It was fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Very, very fleshed out. We were but what about this? But what about this? But
and what if we do this?
And if we do this and we do that?
Yeah.
It just kept going to the point where we were well, now we have to do this. So.
Yep.
That's incredible. I feel like that speaks truth to, the concept. I think that proves that the concept works. Instead of trying to what's that expression, fit a square peg in a round hole or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly that expression, but instead of trying to force something where it maybe doesn't feel great or it doesn't belong, it must feel really good to just be able to kind of flesh these ideas together, and they feel very natural, because that is something that I do think is very difficult to achieve. Obviously by, the interview that we're having, I'm a bit of a dork and I like to spend a lot of time on Steam. And I love how much passion designers and, game makers have, but I do think that is one difficult thing to accomplish, is that marriage of, the dynamics that you have with visualization, with how immersive it ends up being through, the narrative, the mechanics and things that you have, that can be a very difficult thing to balance. And something that really attracted me to your game is that it feels incredibly immersive. This is a game I'm super excited to play because I just want to run around and grab stuff and make my world as cute and cozy as possible. I think we all like to have a semblance of control in our lives, and these kinds of games give me, that outlet. So I'm really excited to try it. I've never tried it in an antique shop. I'm super curious how the mechanic of the antique shop fits into this narrative. Can we talk a little bit about the antique shop and its role in the game?
Yeah, so basically the shop is, I don't know if you played the Moonlighter game, so it's heavily inspired by them. It's store management, basically. You get all kinds of objects and relics from the forest that we will talk later about, and you can sell them in the shop and earn money. And with that, you can basically help the town rebuild itself, because it's in pretty bad shape when you arrive there. And yeah, that's the main concept of the shop.
Antique shops is just cool, man. I mean, for me anyway, personal life, I love antique shops. I love vintage stuff. So it's like, I like trinkets. I collect a lot of trinkets. I have so many trinkets just on my desk of just random stuff that you would never thought think existed. And I feel like it'd be, I think maybe because when we go back to the original thing about how like we were mixed ideas, and one of the ideas was an antique shop kind of thing, and the other one was about like a wizard cat kind of thing, and we combined that. But the antique aspect was the whole like, if you, it's a good reference would be Life is Strange. It's the, you look at certain objects or sort of like a broken down car, and sometimes some people like me, you could think like the, the family that owned that car for a couple of years and the fun memories that like that car has had and the journeys it's traveled to and all that kind of thing. So we thought like, why not make that an actual part of a game? You find this old like teddy bear, or you find this like some kind of weird portrait or object or kettle, and it has some kind of essentially a memory of its own because it's been used and in a fun way over the years. It's like, for teddy bear was loved by a child and maybe multiple children for over the years, so it's got this own personality from that kind of thing. So why not make that into a whole aspect of a game where you have to explore those memories and understand, or maybe even resolve certain aspects. So maybe they've got trauma, or maybe they're happy, or maybe they want to just tell your story kind of thing. But yeah, it's a whole big aspect of balancing like a coziness aspect, and then as well as having some fun exploration-y, maybe even some combat aspects. It's like a one big, hopefully a nice comfy bubble. Basically.
That sounds great. I love a comfy bubble. Need a little bit of cozy in our lives. And that's it. I think you touch on something that I don't know if it intends to be this, and maybe this is a bit of a question actually. Is there intended to be sort of any emotionality connected to any of these objects? You know, are players meant to have a sort of emotional response potentially to some of the things that they find?
So yes.
Great.
Yeah. No, but so some of the, not all of them, but some of the relics will have spirits in them, like Nikita said, with different stories, different reasons why they are trapped there, and yeah, different things to experience. And you, as a player, will English, will have to decide if you want to help them or not, because if you don't help them, there's also something gained in return. So yeah, it's question of player's choice. But yeah, there's going to be some spirits that you can actually like help and get through some their stories and why they ended up there, and yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that kind of answers it. I mean, yeah, it's we're trying to make the game, including it like when you talk to characters, we really want to make it like it isn't just like a spam click the E button to interact with all the characters, get it over with, speedrun the game. Although watching a speedrun of this would be insane, it would be really fun to watch. But we're trying to make it that like it's a very good user experience. It's like your own experience. So if I played it, and if Julia played it, and if you played it, you might get certain different conversations, you might get certain different outcomes, you might see things, explore things a little bit differently, and experience it a little bit differently because of the way you chose to play. That's the overarching goal that we're trying to make, that it's your game, not just a game, it's a bit of you in there. So yeah, and it kind of works out the fact that main character is called Yore, so it kind of works with the wordplay. It's your game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a current meme.
It's I'm milking that content from there. It's so fun to like you're this, you're that. Yeah.
Hey, you're not always handed a joke that easy.
Exactly.
That's a really...
And I think like it also means that the word "your" also means a long time ago, essentially. So it kind of just works. It's like a perfect like fun content like little fix, as well as like a actually means a type of nostalgia kind of thing. So it's just, yeah, it's great, it's perfect.
The whole design, which I think that's so cool to hear, that there's a lot of cool mechanical stuff that you can do, but you can also interact with the world and its history through some of the decisions that you have to make. And I really love games that force you to decide, like make you have sort of a moral compass. And I think they reveal a lot about us. I played a game earlier today as a demo that I didn't realize was going to make me choose things for moral purposes. And as I got through, I was like, I think I learned a thing or two about myself and what I would prefer to do. So I'm excited to do that through, spirit conversations and collecting things. I tend to be a bit of a completionist, so I like to get all of the things, all of the objects, and all of the conversations. So I think there will definitely be some meat for me to chew on in this title, which is really awesome. Something we had chatted about briefly before we started the interview. I'm not sure who I was talking to on Blue Sky, so I'm sorry. Sorry about that. We were talking about the tome, the magic tome that's used for combat. I was super curious about the design choice that came behind this. I know Yore is a wizard cat, so he must have relics and things that he carries with him. A tome definitely sort of makes sense. I'm so curious how this combat tome, impacts his skill set or your play as, somebody exploring this world.
Yeah, so by tome, because I'm not English either, but I've lived in England for a while, so it's kind of even more of an awkward thing that I do. Is tome as in like the combat, his main combat weapon? Do you mean?
Yeah, his
Yeah. Yeah, the book. Yeah. That's fine. I was double checking. I don't know if tone meant like something else, just in case. So the tone originates from the way. So it goes into what the character was implemented in the first place. The wizard cat, Yore, is basically my D&D character. That's all he is to me. So I like cats and I like magic, and I really like implementing magic cats. And in the D&D campaign I was part of, I thought it was a cool fun, because I love grimoires. The concept of grimoires is so cool to me, and I like the idea of magic book related things and big archives and libraries and all that kind of thing in fantasy. So I thought, why not try and make combat utilize the grimoire completely and not just you hold it, shoot. Why not resize it? Why not allow the book to resize itself, when you can the book could slam dunk someone, or maybe it can pick things up, maybe it can make you hover on top of the book, maybe you could use it as a big shield, or maybe it could cut a page out of itself and slap someone. It origami stuff, I don't know, but I was just thinking that a book can do a lot of things, especially if it could resize, and I thought that was really fun. A big inspiration of that was Wizard 101, which is a niche reference apparently in today's day and age. They had an exclusive mount that released, and it hasn't been released there again, but it's just like a book, open up and you just stand on top of it. I was like, that's good in the game, because I thought that was so cool. I made the animation for it and everything, and I thought that was really cool. And I feel like you can have a lot of fun with it. For me, it's like even playing games like Risk of Rain 2, for example. I like that combat, and a good reference as well would be Hades, is that a good combat, it has to feel smooth and fun. For me anyway, it's the same reason why I struggle to get in a lot of games, is when I don't really want to click 1, 2, 3, and I have to just stand still and watch the character do this. I want to try make it feel smooth, like you've done something impactful. Hogwarts Legacy is a great example of that. When you cast a spell, or you do something, or you pick up an object barrel, or you slam dunk at someone, you feel the impact, you feel like that's a cool thing I just did. So that's kind of what I want to try to do with this, but it hopes with this unique concept that you're not just casting, you can cast spells and you can learn spells, but you can also just utilize the book in really fun, creative ways, because that's the fun of it all. We can make up fun spells to cast from the book, and it'll just open in front of the user and it'll just pew. But I feel it'd be really cool that you could maybe you could throw the book like a frisbee or a boomerang, and it'll just bum 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 bum. The possibilities are almost endless, because it's great. But yeah, it just came from my my D&D inspo, and I thought I made some like animations for a prior, and I feel like I pitched it to the team, and Julia, they seem to like the idea, so I think it's kind of just stayed there ever since. I just think it's a really cool, unique concept. I haven't really seen that done. I really tried hard just googling concepts to help me develop it a little bit better to see what people like and don't like. I haven't really been able to find much of it, of people using books as combat as much. I guess it's not as popular as I thought it would be, but it's cool. I like it. It's fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I like it too. It's like I hate to reference Baldur's Gate because I feel like I bring it up in every conversation that I have.
A lot of
too.
games you can probably
Me
reference
too.
to Baldur's Gate in today's world. Yeah.
Yes. It's like it's so good, and I just I think it will go down as one of my favorite games of all time, probably. But like Gale, for example, when he's like slams the book shut, there's something so gratifying about that.
Yep. I know.
I'm just like, yes, like give me more of this. This is what we need in this era. I also just wish people liked books more in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Us
So
too.
sad.
Sad. It is like all these books I haven't read behind me.
Yeah, I have the
that.
same problem. Don't worry, I have the same problem.
There's something about going to like a library and you just like buy a book from there. It's just so nice. It's like a whole experience. It's great.
It is. Like, look at all this stuff I could learn.
Exactly. But will you? That's another question. You have to like wait it out.
It's true. Those late night wake ups for my kid might decide. Awesome. Well, it sounds super, super fun. I'm excited to throw some books around and potentially use the spine to just clock somebody in the face, which might be pretty fun too. I'm super curious too how do roguelike elements fit into this realm of combat? How do they interact? If somebody is able to explore and look for things and also fight, how did you choose this balance of of things, for lack of a better way to say?
So the roguelite aspect, because there's a difference.
It's very important
There's a
differentiation there.
That's true. That is a good point.
Yeah, so talking about the book before, Yor is not only a wizard, he's also an herbologist. So he specializes in magic through plants. That means that this is a really core concept of the roguelite aspect, because he can, when you are in the forest and you are doing your incursions and things, you will encounter herbs laying around or dropped by enemies. You can pick them up and dry them in his book. You can combine two of them at the same time. You dry one of in each page and you close it. And once you close it, you unlock a certain spell. Depending on the combination of the herbs, the spell is one or another one. So that's one of the aspects of the roguelike, because each run that you make, it will change the herbs that you encounter. It will be different, so you will get different spells, and you will built around that. Also, there's another aspect that ties more into the spirit kind of aspect of the game. You will, this is similar to Hades, because Hades really impacted, it's a big influence for us. So the spirits work as when you clear one of the rooms of the forest, there's a chance that one powerful spirit, that maybe it was a guardian of the forest before it got corrupted and everything, talks to you and offers to help you. And offers like 3 power-ups that you can choose. You can choose one of them, and you can, choosing one of them will upgrade one of your attacks or dash, and it will like equipped for your run there. These will also get lost if you die during the run, so that's why it's a roguelite, because you lose some of the things that you gather in your incursions. But yeah, those are some of the roguelite aspects.
How has it been to plan that? It seems like that would be quite the undertaking to have choices that not only impact elements of the story longer on, but the precise things that you can do as you discover certain things. I can imagine organizationally that might be a challenge. What has that looked like for the team?
Hard. Hard.
Well,
We're barely understanding this ourselves.
Yeah,
We've got,
we're still working on it. Like, this is a constant. All the things most of the things that we say, it's like a constant talking and iterating and changing things if they don't work. But yeah, it's hard. But we have to balance a lot of things, because roguelite games needs a lot of balancing, a lot of testing. So yeah, we're working on it, but we're confident that it's gonna be really cool. Basically.
yeah, we know that much, but it's just how we do it is a kind of question. We know we can, we just need to sort it out and make it balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, I can imagine. Yeah, that the struggle would be real. It's like I haven't done UX in a long time, but when I used to do UX for like massive applications, that's the only thing that I can imagine would be as similar. Like trying to make sure every single decision is mapped out for just even what page needs to get loaded when a user takes an action. And I can imagine in a game it would be that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but it would be that on cocaine. Like I mean, that's like a million degrees. It's
Basically,
absolutely
yeah.
insane. So I just want to give you props, because I can imagine just organizationally that would be quite challenging. And then for every different decision that you make, there's visual elements that I'm sure would have to be designed for that as well. So it can definitely lengthen a workload, which I know on a small team that I would imagine you guys are like, you have like day jobs and the stuff that's going on outside of making this title. So I can imagine that it would be very challenging to do all those things. But I'm super excited, and I share your confidence that it will be really awesome when it's done. And I'll be among the players that's excited to discover what happens if I play an evil playthrough where I don't help anyone.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
We'll see.
Well, speaking of evil, something I noticed, I saw some stuff about a cursed forest. Can we talk about the cursed forest and maybe a little bit? I don't know how much we're able to reveal, and no worries about anything that's under wraps. You can totally keep it, beyond the veil. I'm very curious about, how it plays a role in the protagonist's journey in this story, and what people might be able to expect from the dark places.
So you wanna go first, or should I?
I'll just say like a little bit, because I know you probably know more about the cursed forest than I do.
Go ahead.
I'll try to be broad, because I don't know what. We don't want to reveal too much, but I'll try to be as broad but as informative as possible. So it's the overarching goal is that you find out very quickly that there is a cursed forest, and your overarching goal of the game is to basically figure out why it's a curse and how you can help and all that kind of things. So the roguelite aspect of that is basically the cursed forest. You go towards it and try and get as close as to the in the forest to figure out what's wrong with it. And on the way there'll be but there'll be enemies you'll be find, which we have one of our artists drawing some phenomenal fun enemies. I guess a teaser would be from that is that a lot of our enemies in the forest would be very foresty themed. They're being forestified or the kind of thing, so that
Corrupted.
It's corrupted essentially. So it's because it's a cursed forest, and it's anything that remains in the forest will slowly get corrupted into it's truthful kind of thing. But yeah, I'll let Julia put any more details on that, because I'm scared I'll say something bad.
No, you're fine. Basically what Nikita said. Okay, so narratively we can speak much about it. We can speak a little bit of how game design side of things works. Narratively, I can say that at the beginning of the game, you enter the town and you discover that you cannot exit the town. No one can. For some reason, no one knows why. The only thing they know, the people, the NPCs, the people, the townies that live there, it's that something is happening inside the forest that is corrupting everything, and it's slowly reaching the town, and they cannot exit the town. So you decide to go investigate to find a way to, cure or end the problem. No. So basically, in a narrative aspect as well, talking about the forest, it works because my idea was because I love Hades, right? So it's one of our big inspirations. I love Hades so much. So I really loved how they did this roguelite that it's like really narrative driven, where you can, like, the more runs you do, the more you discover about, well, in that case, Zagreus discovers more about his mother's whereabouts or what happened to her or where is she, and you slowly uncover the story. So that's Yore works in a similar way, where Yore does incursions in the forest, and he uncovers more and more of what happened there, and the NPCs react also to your discoveries, and the story progresses the more you investigate, basically.
Oh, that's so great. I'm really excited. I am not gonna lie. I love a good creepy forest. I think a creepy forest is classic. I grew up in the woods. I love watching well, not like horror movies, but in games I really enjoy the creepy forest element, and I'm really excited to see it in Remnants of Yore. Especially because, the artistic style for the game is just super beautiful. It's not just cute. Like, don't get me wrong, Yore is very cute, but I love the environmental design as well. Like, the lighting is beautiful, the shading is beautiful. It's just very well put together. And I saw that you're utilizing a 3D pixelation shader, which I think is, contributing a little bit of the pixelation style, which is stunning. I think that was a great choice. It really adds a lot of depth, I think, to the mood, and it adds a bit of nostalgia to the atmosphere as well. How has that shader, why did you select that particular method to make some of your artistic designs?
So the nostalgic feel in the game is always something that I really liked. It's like, I'm a very nostalgic person, period. So I've always liked that. There you go. So I like playing old games that I played as a kid, and it's just, I've got like a Game Boy here and all that kind of fun stuff. I love all of the old stuff. So nostalgic is something I've always wanted to try and kind of like make, which is kind of cool. So we originally, to be honest, I don't know if we actually said to anyone yet. So we originally started making this into a 2D pixel art game. We're originally just going to make it kind of like a Stardew visually kind of game. It's like this pixel art, we'll do everything the same, but it'll just be in this kind of format. And we tried to do that because we were inspired from games like Ragnarok Online, because it's that nostalgic kind of feel, but also coziness of like Stardew Valley. And there's like a new game that's called, I think it's called Octopath, which has 2.5D. It's like Stardew Valley by a 3D space kind of vibe. It looks like that. And we thought that was like super cool. So we were thinking, in the game industry, how would we look visually different to maybe stand out that extra bit? So we looked into that, and then we found some programs that we don't exist at the time, that you could put in a 3D object and it'll just apply a pixelization shader to it. I thought that was really cool, and like a very easy pipeline, because pixel art, like, it's easy, but it's really hard to do it properly, especially when it comes to things like shading and positioning placements and all that kind of. It can get complex really quickly, especially if you need to rotate objects, or you need to or if you want to animate anything. It can get hard. And so, but we were ready to go into that. But then we found the 3D aspect. Me being 3D person, Julia have dabbled into 3D as well, and 3D being like, I like 3D because like it's easier for me to make things and draw things. We were dabbling to that, and then after even further research, we found online that there's pixelization shaders, which we didn't know at the time, which we obviously know now. But it's really popular in if you ever Google like Unity pixelization 3D or something like that, it's this one guy who's made it in Unity really well, and then loads of people are inspired by that one guy. And it's not in Unity though, but it's like these floating cubes and with really beautiful lighting. It's like, love it. But we're trying aiming for that kind of thing, but we both have a little bit more experience in Unreal, and I personally prefer Unreal because to me it's just a lot easier to understand than Unity. So we're doing to that. So then I found a guy on YouTube who's done it beautifully, and then we worked with him essentially to implement it, and we've kind of built it off that since. It's just like pixelization in, and it doesn't hurt your eyes. We can make certain things not move when you move around. It's like pixel perfect. A really popular game that was inspired from that as well was a game called Backbone. It's this like raccoon detective kind of thing. It's like it became popular. I think, I don't know if it won any awards or not, but it was like really popular because of its unique style. It's this pixel art in a 3D space with a real engine lighting, and it was like, whoa, atmospheric as hell. So we basically really wanted to capture that kind of thing, and it kind of works out perfectly because we wanted to have that nostalgic feel but still an up-to-date game, and it's somewhat possible to make. It's not too difficult because it's 3D and the shader's doing the more of the harder work, which means that we can model in less poly. Texturing it could even be less done as well because pixelization will compress it anyway. There's a lot of bonuses to make it working as well, but it also came out very well because it's a real engine. Unreal is just getting really big right now, and and we've got a lovely team to work with us on it now, and
That's I do think you absolutely touched on something really, really cool that really drew me to your game, that it does feel very modern, even with a nostalgic adaptation. I think a lot of people, myself included, like you said, are really drawn to nostalgia. A lot of people, like, I don't know, I feel like we're all fairly similar ages. I'm really bad at guessing age. I'm in my mid-30s, and most people that I know in my life we all started playing games when we were really young, and a lot of us started with NES or Game Boys or things like this, and just because of the limitations of the technology, pixelization is what existed. That was really all people could do. But now it's become such a nostalgia thing that I love that visual contrast. Honestly, just from my day-to-day life going into a game, I think it helps kind of with the immersion of like, yeah, I'm sitting down to enjoy something right now. It's like that mental space for that. But also, I do believe that the 3D element that you've pulled in there adds a lot to the environment that he's in. I was watching some of the clips of Yore kind of running around, and it feels very different, even though it is also pixelated like Stardew Valley or one of these other kind of 2.5D games. The feeling of that entire environment shifts by the very fact that it's, sort of three-dimensional, and I shouldn't say sort of, it is three-dimensional, the fact that you can move around in space very differently. And I think with the narrative goals, with the exploration goals, with the combat goals that exist, that it adds a lot of visual interest and immersion for the player. And again, if I may toot your horn, incredibly beautiful. And yourself, like Yore is rad. Like, he is such a cool protagonist. I love his design. I love everything about him. I'm obsessed with him a little bit. And as I was reading the description, I was like, oh my god, pansexual wizard cat. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. Like, I think that these kinds of characters give people such an outlet for experiencing things. And for, myself being a member of the LGBTQ community, like, I love to see characters like this, that it might not be a huge, like, central part of his story. Maybe it is, I don't know, I won't ask, because I know that that's maybe not to be revealed, but I was really, really excited to see that, because I was like, yes, we just need more of these characters out there running around and doing really silly things. How did Yore come into existence? What was the process by which his design came into place? I have some guesses, but I'd love to see your thoughts.
I'll quickly say my bit. So he was basically, I was like that D&D character, fleshed him out a bit, bullet points, and then Julia kind of did her magic kind of thing.
I was the one who designed Yore. It's so the main idea was his D&D character, as you said. So I grabbed his idea and I just tried to iterate as much as I could. I had to iterate a lot because a lot of designs just didn't click for me. I wanted to make him a wizard, but not like going a little bit like apart from the cliche, kind of with the wizard hat and I don't know. I wanted to give him some kind of twist, some kind of, so the herbologist part was really helpful in that regard. And so I wanted to mix the idea that he's an herbologist, but also a wizard, but also like kind of make him like a bit more colorful, a bit more, you know, adventurous type of guy. So that's why he wears this tunic, because it's kind of a thing that a mage would wear, but not so much, because also he has these pants with the stripes and everything, colorful stripes. I don't know, it was kind of a mismatch of things that made sense for him as a character. And yeah, that's how his design came to be, his appearance and everything. And yeah, basically. I think that's it.
Yeah, it's. I think it's hard to take a character from your mind into reality. You know, like I think that's one thing that I love about character creation games, like games that let you get very deep into choosing facial features and hair colors and things like that. Because we don't often get to take this image in our head and turn it into, you know, something that we can actually use in a world that we're playing around in. And so yeah, he ended up super cool. I'm really excited to play his story, run around environments and stuff. His pants are so cute, and his little round head. I just the proportions are really satisfying, because it was funny because I was like, oh, it's so cute, a little black cat, and then I started watching all the stuff that he was doing, and I was like, ooh, look at all this other stuff that you can do with our little friend. So I'm really excited, and nicely done. Yeah, I'm excited to see how he turns out and what kind of shenanigans we can get up to with the awesome. Something that really stood out to me too, I noticed that there is mention of collaboration for some of the music on the game as well. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, who you're collaborating with and what some of the process has looked like for, you know, maybe evoking emotions during a player's journey, or what kind of mood you're trying to set with the audio?
Yeah, so we've partnered with Bond Music. They are a lovely people who we've had the pleasure of working with. They're like stupidly talented at what they do. A good portion of the team have went to London to like kind of do person to person. We went to the studio to record some bits and bobs, and we watched like them make a couple of snippets, first iterations of some of the music that we're going to add into the game, which was super cool. But yeah, so we're obviously part of them. The soundtrack we aim to like evolve with progression, as most games kind of do. So like you know, once you complete certain things, or when the narrative kind of changes, or kind of things like that. So we aim, in terms of the evolution, it's like, you know, if sad things happen, or if good things happen, or if something drastic happen, kind of like Ori in the Blind Forest is a perfect example of that. You see a sad scene, the music like delves into that direction. Lots of like a dramatic and cinematic environmental sounds with music changes is kind of the place we try to go with, whether it's editing existing music and adjusting the tone, or just creating new ones. You know, it could be you're talking with a really bubbly day in Townville, and you're just talking to your character, and it's chill, and then you get to the forest and turns out everyone's dead there. The music changes. But yeah, the Bond Music, super cool people. They've got some, like, if you have a Google, they've got some really fun credibility. They've done loads of things, and they've worked with really big cool people that are just great. And yeah, it's just really cool. It's great. We hope to evoke loads of emotions. Hopefully you cry. That's the goal.
That's the goal. The main goal here is to make people cry.
Yeah, it's yeah. We're adding trauma to these characters. So hopefully the music adds a little bit of that, like, oh, now is the time to cry because the music shifted.
I'm a sucker for a good track list. I'll definitely probably be among the teary-eyed players.
Yay!
Let's go.
Hey. You were talking about the teddy bear and all of the previous owners, and I was thinking about like Toy Story, when I think it's Toy Story 3. I hope that movie's been out long enough that nobody's mad at me about spoilers. But like the last scene where you like think they're gonna die, like for whatever reason.
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah.
thinking about, and I was like, no, it could be so sad, you know, like because teddy bears are typically owned by children, and yeah. So I can imagine that there would be a lot of moments that you could really pull on somebody's heartstrings a little bit, and
That's
I
the
think you'll
goal.
probably get some Discord.
We're aiming to pull hard and strong with that. Every character's gonna have some trauma, man. We're gonna ruin you. That's
Oh, that reminds me. There was something I was really curious about on the Steam page. It mentions that this game talks a lot about second chances, and now that we're sort of talking about trauma, I'm curious. How does redemption or rebuilding? How does this manifest in the game? How does this manifest in the gameplay mechanics, or maybe the development of your character? Which I know is maybe a loaded question.
Well, the thing is, this is a question we can't fully answer yet, because,
Of course,
things
yeah.
can
Sorry, I don't mean
happen
to
yet,
dive too
still.
deep.
But it involves more of the narrative aspect of the game, and we would love for the players to discover what it is exactly. But what we can say now is that I think we said that earlier. I personally, and I think Nikita too, but I personally love as well great choices and tough decisions. So that's the thing I really like in games, because makes you think and makes you like, okay, there's no good or bad. There's like, wait a second, right? So there's gonna be a lot of that. And we also like to flesh out our characters and make them more realistic, because people are gray, people are not black or white, right? So there's a lot of that in the narrative as well. And and some of the characters' quests and story arcs will also circle around that aspect, and you basically helping them balance within themselves as well as balance the force. So it's kind of a theme here, kind of.
So I can see where some trauma may play in here.
Yeah. So there's things going on. That's all I'm gonna say. There's some things going on there.
Oh, that's awesome. I love when games touch on, elements of life that maybe we don't necessarily get an outlet to either discuss or try to experience through some other, outlet. I think games are a great place through. But it's really gratifying, I think, as both a player and a creative, to be able to communicate about ideas or experiences too that are maybe deeply unpleasant and have left us with a dark sense of humor, perhaps.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to see how that turns out. I'm sure a lot of that is still probably in the works, which totally makes sense. And for anybody that's watching that maybe knows you from Kickstarter, or maybe anybody watching who's maybe not familiar, what in like 35 seconds or let me start again. That's a really long time limit. I don't like that at all. If somebody's watching this and they're like really just curious about your team and about what Remnants is about, what would you say to them?
You wanna answer?
Or
should I?
I can like bullet point it. It's a fun antique store management. God, no, actually no. I'll let her do it. I'm really bad at this. I had to do this before.
He's really bad at bullet points.
I had to do this at like events and stuff like that, and like the people are like, "Oh, cool, what's your game about?" I'm like, I just chug like big blocky words. It's this. I'm like, my girlfriend's made this very much aware of me that I am terrible at this. I'm gonna let her do it.
So basically, a summarized version of Remnants of Yore would be it's cozy adventure with some creepy aspects to it, with lots of romance and lots of narrative trauma and and redemption, basically.
That's
That
awesome.
would be the best way to summarize it, I think.
Broad
And
niche. Perfect.
yeah, and also like to point out, you can find us on Discord. People want to join us. We have a really active community that I believe we're now reached like 700.
Yeah, just over 700 now, which is
Yeah, right?
insane,
It's
by the way.
insane. We're so many
I'm
people,
not ready
and
for this, man.
they're all awesome, and we love them so much. And there's also our Kickstarter is still open in case people want to check it out. To see more information. And yeah, that's all I think.
That's great. Yeah, I'm gonna briefly break the fourth wall. If you're watching this, join on Discord, back on Kickstarter.
Do it, yeah.
Do all the fun stuff so you can be part of the crew. I know 700 people is a lot of people. I am quietly lurking in the Discord.
Oh yeah.
Super fun to
Let's
see.
go.
Like I was watching as the Kickstarter, stretch goals were getting hit and things like that. And it was so fun to see the excitement from the community. Everybody that's really pumped to see the game. It's such an uplifting, like really, really, really fun community that you guys are building there. And yeah, go join. Go do it. You gotta do it
We
now.
do marble runs. If you like marble runs, we are really liking marble runs.
Yep.
I don't know if you know about it. It's like we did fun like giveaways and stuff like that, and decision making stuff. And it's just a game. If everybody has a marble, and they just get dumped in this fun obstacle course.
It's
and
like
we
a race of marbles.
Yes, like a race. And we either me or one of my commentator friends does it, like a professional commentator, and he's like, and Lowry's in the lead, followed by Julia, and the third place is Nico is going strong. It's a really fun, stupid thing, but we really enjoy doing that.
We made that to the winners. We would give them like Steam keys, or we would give them. We have like a VA going on to voice characters, so we may we use it for those kind of things, and people have so much fun. Watching it.
It's like you could be the lead. You could have your name shouted out as a marble, and you could win a marble game, and you get like a fun reward. It's so fun, but so stupid. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so funny. When you first said that, I thought you meant Marvel, like Marvel Rivals.
No.
That's cool. And then as you started talking, I was like, I was very wrong. That sounds so fun, though. Just chaos, like controlled.
Yep.
Chaos.
Yeah, we love it. It's the best utilization of 700 Discord members.
Like, I'm sad I missed that. I must have missed that somehow. It's so funny. That's incredible. Well, I am super thrilled to see Remnants and how, things continue to progress. I didn't realize about the Kickstarter is still open, so I need to go back it. I just realized. And so I can be one of your players. And,
You get a backer roll if you back us. It's perfect. Just saying.
And thank you both so much. I'm sure that you've got a lot of stuff going on with the game and life and all of the things. So thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no, it's been very fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime. I'd be happy to have you back at any point. So.
Yeah.
Right back at you. We'll have to talk about it if you ever need us.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to contact me. And I'll send you...
No, you as well. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure to meet you, really.
Super fun time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.